There we go, we're working. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Greyhawk channel. I am your DM for the next few hours. You'll have to forgive me today. I'm not feeling my greatest. If you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly why.
Yes. Poison.
Yeah, I'm hyped up on the caffeine poison right now. So before we get cracking, we do our recap, and I just let my players roleplay and entertain you for the next few hours. There's some people we'd like to thank. Firstly, we would like to thank you, our viewers, our wonderful patron supporters and subscribers, and people that throw bits at us. Without you, none of this would be possible. The Greyhawk channel would not run. Etc. etc. We would also like to thank Roll20.net, as they are supporters of us, and pretty much nearly all the games of the Greyhawk channel run on Roll20, and if you'd like to try it out, you can, because it's free. You just sign up on Roll20.net. Next, our official Battle Maps sponsor, Battle Maps. Through Roll RPG. Hello, thank you, Ouchiebug. Drive through RPG, over 300 maps that you can download. And then, of course, if you're a subscriber or a patron, if you join our Discord, which you can find a link in the Twitch, not the Twitch, the Discord, on our Twitter. See, this is the thing that I was telling you about, where I'm really tired. And my brain is making words, but they make no sense. But yes, if you join the Discord and get Heavenly to put you in the right place because you're a subscriber or a patron, you can get discounts from our friends Devon Rue, of ruinc.com, and Cantrick Candles. That's the one I usually forget, but I didn't today, even though I'm tired. So yeah, I think that's everything. You're going to have to forgive me, and forgive me lots today. Last time we played Shadow of Vecna, Khan was missing, and that's why we have a gif over there. And she's at Gen Con. I'm assuming if you're watching, you're not at Gen Con like the rest of us lonely and sad people. Our party went and visited the Noble Ward, to which they found the head priest. His name blanks me right now, but they know it. And they came to his house, they had a chat with him, he offered his help, his services, they rejected it. They were like, we're going to steal all his stuff. That's kind of how I remember it. I know you didn't steal everything. You took some scrolls from his bookshelf that were magical, and you were going to steal this really beautiful golden ruby-encrusted peacocked phoenix statue. However, on touching it, they knew it was magical, they just didn't know how it was magical. It was a strong, enchanted teleportation device that separated our party and practically locked them in a world of their deepest desire, their deepest secrets. Our party mum, Bash, found herself in a forest, home practically, where she could fish and bathe in sunlight and swim in the lake and patter around the Dingley Dells. And she was surrounded by her fellow party members, just happy, basically doing what they did before they got stuck into this whole mess. Devarius, on the other hand, was graduating, with his family, a past memory, perhaps? Who knows? And Adafor, I'm very sorry, but I kind of forget what... You were running through the forest. You were running through the forest with your sister Khan. In home. But Adafor was very quick and managed to realise that something was not quite right. Snapped out of the charm and went to find their companions. Finding Diveris, who was seemingly depressed after discovering they were trapped in a false illusion, and then having to practically beat Bash out of theirs. But the master of this realm was a Balor, to which the party defeated. Not without some damage on the way. And as they were spat out from this realm, the magical golden phoenix still there, not active. And our party feeling a little bit worse for wear. It is here we will pick up our session.
Why can't this be the illusion? Like, I understand conceptually that was fake and this is real, but I just can't it be the other way around?
I know what you mean, Bash. It was lovely to be home, just even for a brief moment. You turn around and Adifal's like pulling on gloves and going back towards the Phoenix statue. But
Yeah, Bash is like, okay, just be careful with that. Okay, it's fine, Karn. Just maybe don't even touch it with the gloves. Just put the bag on top of it. Does that work? I don't know. Tip it over. Use a book or something to prod it.
That's genius. That's genius. Yeah.
Tavares doesn't really say much. He's just kind of like sullen and forlorn, and just the lines on his face have grown ever deeper, and he just kind of like scowls over at you guys. He's pretty much got one his facial expression, scowl.
And so Bash, who was just like beat to crap after that fight, kind of just like walks over to Tavares and is like, what is it? Where were you?
Somewhat painful. I'd rather not discuss.
Somewhere painful good or somewhere painful better?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, Diverse. It was a lovely memory. Bash, he's got really lovely folks.
It's exactly why it was so painful.
Wow.
Look, if we're gonna go mess with this thing, let's be careful about it.
This thing?
Aren't you walking towards the Phoenix statue?
Oh, I think I'm gonna go with Bash's idea. Yeah, she had a good idea there. We should try and topple it into the bag without actually putting hands on.
And Bash like looks at the sword of Kos and is like, do you think that if the sword touches it, the sword will like have its memory? I'm fascinated. I wonder what would happen. Like, what would the sword of Kos's greatest memory be? And she sort of like waggles it like she's trying to shake up a snow globe, right? So like there's an effect, which is, sword, tell me what you think.
The sword of Kos, which sadly once again couldn't be here today. It's in its pompous, arrogant way, very displeased at being shaken around like a snowball globe. It makes a cutting remark about how it's a great, mighty tool of smiting evil, and not a tourist toy.
Okay. Yes, I understand, Sword. I just was curious. What, if we're going to be stuck together for a long time, what? And at that moment, you see Bash sort of like lock up, and all of the scales on their skin turn harder and more brittle like wood, and they fall over and just like pass out. And they are unconscious.
Bash, Bash.
What? What happened to him? Huh.
Did that big monster do something to her?
Can't you check?
I rush over and just in case I cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. It doesn't do anything, but thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm not sure what's going on, so okay.
Yeah, I know. Right. I guess I could tell you, but that would be boring. Let's do it.
No, I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
being entertained. Entertain me, my little dancing
So,
monkeys.
yeah. You spare the dying, and then do you touch Bash when you cast that?
Yes.
Okay, so when you touch her, wherever you're touching her, underneath her clothing or on her arm or whatever, what used to be sort of like a flesh and scale has turned more wooden. Not her skin so much as the scales on wherever you touch her have become sort of like bark on a tree.
I think Arafor's like up on like hands and knees on your breastplate, and like on top of it. He's like looks around to Diverse, and
I'll check to see if. Go ahead.
He swings his legs around and he sits cross-legged on top of the breastplate. He's like, Diverse. Look at this. He's gone all wooden.
Shit.
And recently he's been harping on about forest glades and stuff. Do you think he's secretly been a druid this whole time?
I
know, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I don't think so. But I really don't know much about Bash. She's quite enigmatic.
Yeah, she's a mystery.
She's both a mother and a leader and fearless and stubborn and now wooden. So
whatever are we to do without her? He's like glances over to Bash's face, see if there's any reaction.
So Bash, like, there's an exhale, right? And you deflate a little bit as like the air leaves their lung, and you're just like, and she's like, okay, why is there a giant cat laying on top of my chest? I can't breathe. And then she like opens her eyes and she's like, oh no, okay, Arafor.
Meow.
Can you just can you please get off of me? Just a little bit.
Sorry.
Right. And so she like gets up and she's creaks a little bit more than normal, and she's just kind of like, what happened?
Bash, what's this?
Right. And she like looks down and looks at her hands, and she's like, what's going on? I'm confused.
Are you some kind of dryad?
This has never happened. No, I don't know. I was concentrating on the sword, trying to get it to open up about what its most wanted memory would be, and then it felt like someone dug their hands into my chest and ripped out something. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And I'm tired. I'm really tired.
Is this some effect of the sword that we haven't seen before? Cass, what did you do?
I don't know if the sword will respond to us.
And so Bash kind of like almost in a diverse pose, but not quite as severe, like is a little bit more slumped of shoulder. So not like this. It's not Mr. Burns. It's more like,
it has now come to me what has happened.
Yes, did you figure it out? Okay, cool. I just wanted to, nice. Okay, so yeah, So like the shoulders roll forward a little bit more, and they sort of like walk over to a wall and kind of just like lean against it and like sigh and fall down into like a squatting position and lay the sword like over their knees, and they're just like, oh, I just want to, I want to be home. And I think for the first time, the obsession that happened before, where it was more of a drive and anger, turns into more of a sorrow and fear on Bash's expression. And they just start weeping in a really quiet, but like gross way.
As she starts to weep, Ferris just audibly goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And ambles over, just silently sits down cross-legged next to her, just providing his presence in whatever comforting fashion that may or may not bring.
I mean, between gross, like quiet sobs in Godwin's library, as no one's come to annoy us here yet. She just like looks at all three of you and just says, I don't want to die here.
I can't.
I don't want what I remember of my life to disappear in an endless procession of this place. And she just kind of like knocks over whatever's nearest her sitting on the floor, like a bookcase or something.
Well, and Arafor walks over and sits down, making like a triangle with the three of them on the floor there, and then he remembers and he kind of like scoots over and beckons for Khan to come and sit down too. Well, you know how we do that. We have to remember and make sure that we remember what we're trying to get back to. Not as some, horrid, nasty vision, like trixied on us by that muscly thing. Remember our memories of where we were, and he uses minor illusion to start like forest noises and like the bird song and stuff that of the species of birds that would have been in our home forests all the time. When did you come to the forest, Bash? Because you I mean, there aren't any others like you in the forest.
And Bash like looks up, closes their eyes, and is just like, seems like so much longer ago than it has been. I left where I'm from 30 years ago, and I've lived in the Dapper Wood ever since.
Yeah, I'll never forget that first time we found you. But I mean, it's so weird, isn't it? That we were so close to each other, but then we actually bumped into each other in a city.
Well, sometimes the snares don't catch anything, and sometimes the fish are a little bit quicker than you. And she like cracks her back, and it makes a loud audible like, and she's just like,
well, we were always in our neck of the woods. I mean, the Dapper Woods spread over those different spots in it. But yeah. Well, yeah, I'm glad we found you. Even if we weren't at home when we first did.
yeah, it's good to have people around that you can trust and believe in, to to have your back, even if it makes them uncomfortable. And she just sort of like grabs Diverse by the shoulder and like gives it a squeeze. Oh yeah, sorry. But thank you. And she turns to Airforce and she's like, I thank you all. It's hard. It feels hopeless because it's not about the physical death, but a death of an idea of who I am and where I want to be.
The only time to be hopeless is when you're out of options. We've got many options. They just need to be explored.
The only option I'm interested in is driving this sword through the face of a demon prince, because I cannot stop obsessing over it being their fault. They're here doing their shit. And this sword, and she like again wiggles it around a little bit. She's like, wants us to kill Vecna more than anything else. And like the sword at the word like Vecna like vibrates a little bit, and she kind of looks like she's like loses control of it and says, I'm being torn between what I want to do and what this place seems to need me to do, for us to do, to escape.
Do you think we need to mess with Grast or Vecna more?
I think I don't want this Prince of Pleasure to absorb enough pieces of Vecna to become a deity of Vecna's power. I don't want this person having more power and remembering us and how we interfered with their enjoyment of their playhouse.
Well, they're already insufferable as they are. Imagine if they were a god. Ugh.
Exactly.
Look, we've been through a lot. We've been in some sticky situations. We've had our backs to the wall. Do you remember that time where we were attacked by a whole brigade of ogres? Do you remember? And then do you remember what Arafor did? Remind us, Arafor.
Oh, I'll never forget.
I'll never forget the goddamn smell. Those fucking ogres.
Inspire us.
I mean, in that case, it was easy because, I mean, yeah, they're so dumb. Then they just fell for our illusions straight away. You know, we drove them off with all those, you know, those scary beasties and the like. But this thing's bigger. I mean, it's not going to be so easy. We're gonna have to really step it up.
Right. The point is, it was grim, and we found our way out. Do you remember the time we had to deal with the vampire off in that city to the west? Do you remember? And then Bash, she just saved us right in the nick of time. Right, Bash?
I mean, it was more about how awfully they dressed more than saving you. I just couldn't. There was so many ruffles. I was like, this is so ostentatious. I don't understand. But yes, no, I understand.
Bash came down with the sword of fashion police.
Yep. As I usually do. That, you know, it's hard for me to resist a good tweak on some clothes, you know. As she's wearing like gross, dirty, like traveling gear with like rusted chainmail with like bits of wood in it, and she just kind of like does not look at all like she would care. Yeah. Well, these are all great exploits of us, but Diveris, it's your brain and your ability to see through illusion that has got us through so many countless bandit attacks on the roads between the towns of where we're from, because I can't remember their names. You know, there's that town and the other one.
Mm-hmm. Both of them, yeah.
That we always do our trade route protection from. as it says in the backstory of our characters. Yeah. So Bash is just like, yeah, we can overcome a lot, but I just feel like here in this place, having this prince connected with so many of the things we're trying to face off against, I'm just tired.
I'm sure you're tired, but perhaps imagining your sword wiping that smug look off the face may inspire some energy within you.
It's now that the Sword of Car says, imagine the things where you can shove me where the sun don't shine.
Yeah. Do they say it in common out loud, or is that like telepathic?
No, it's common out loud. Whole party heard it.
So the whole party, and I'm just like, this sword is a lot dirtier than I anticipated.
Maybe your personality is rubbing off on it.
That could very well be true. Okay.
Look. The first step to overcoming whatever this is, this emotional bog, is just moving. We can't sit still. We start sitting still, we grow mushrooms on our ass, and not the good kind. So let's get up, let's just start moving, we'll figure it out as we go.
Sounds good to me.
And I think, yeah, Bashira sort of is slower to get up than Airfor or Karn, and just like stands up at their full height and sort of like rolls their shoulders back and cracks their neck, and is just kind of like, it's moments like these that I feel aren't expressed enough in the stories of adventurers. It's great that we defeat demons and creatures of evil, but it's the mental health of the party that is never discussed. And I appreciate all of you being able to support me. Thank you.
Well, just, remember to talk about it. Don't just bottle stuff up,
You see Diveris visibly shudder at the thought that he is someone else's mental and emotional support.
And Bash, like, seeing that, like, uncharacteristically, not like a shoulder grab or like a arm touch, like wraps her arm around your shoulder, Diveris, and pulls you in. And
okay, all right.
And no, they say before, they're like, if you ever need to talk about why that memory is so painful, I have you. We have you. And like lets you go as you're like, ugh, don't touch me, gross feelings.
I never got vaccinated for the cooties.
I was just about to go, oh, kitties.
Don't worry, Diveris. You're not my type.
What is your type?
Everyone except for you.
That's fair. More than fair.
And Gratz. You didn't like Gratz either.
No. In fact, you know what, Diveris? If I had to quantify it in some sort of strange list that would then be put onto a bulletin board somewhere that other people would compare themselves with, you would be above Gratz. So.
Hey. Not bad.
I pride myself on that.
What about Diveris as Gratz?
Higher than both of them combined. So yeah, it would be like Diveris as Gratz, Diveris, and then Gratz.
Sexy, emaciated, derelict, frail Gratz. Diveris.
Yep. Hot.
Hot and fragile.
Ooh, just the way Bash likes them.
Just would snap in half with a stiff breeze.
Hot
and fragile. I kind of feel like that's like a ship.
There's a ship?
Yeah, a ship descriptor, yeah. Do you know about ships?
I'm honestly confused. Do you mean like a sailing ship, or do you mean like a relationship?
Yeah, ships. When you go, ship it means that you.
Okay. No, because I was just imagining a giant vessel with the phrase "hot and frail" on the side, and I was like,
You know
I
what?
don't think.
You know what? If I ever get a yacht, that's what I'm gonna call it.
I
Hot
mean,
and frail.
I was just about to say, if I ever get a schooner or any sort of boat that lets me spray paint a name on it, don't worry. That my crabbing one person boat that has a crappy motor on the back of it. The hot and frail. There we
Hot
go.
and frail.
Spelled with a PH.
And then wait, does that mean that you have to put like a quail or just rhyming words together? It's fine. There's a pheasant on the side of it. See, look, it makes sense because PH for pheasant, PH for what? Okay, fine. Anyway, so I think we finally are gonna leave. House like library. Is that? I mean,
Yeah.
Godwin hasn't come back, and as much as Bash kind of wants to like walk behind those curtains and like see all the weird people doing their weird stuff that they're hopefully getting paid for, like union wages for, is all I'm saying. Like, not slave wages, which is nothing. But Bash will kind of like be behind the party and like resting the sword on a shoulder as she walks, and it's going to be much less deranged and manic looking Bash than both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So my
I will-
party. As you leave, where is it that you want to go?
I will pull Arafor to the front as Bash kind of trails along. Arafor,
Yep.
Karn is awfully reticent, and Bashir is having some sort of existential crisis. So we're going to have to be the tiller of this ship. We're at the helm. So what are you thinking? Bakery, House of Pleasure, just go fishing at the... Oh, let's go fishing at the docks. Bashira would love that.
Meanwhile, the city is being burned.
Well, you know.
I love it. No, that you can do whatever you want.
I mean, technically, it's only like 6 a.m, so it's not on fire yet.
No, you've got a few hours until it's on fire. Definitely.
I mean,
You know the pattern well
You know-
enough, yeah.
we know that nothing's going to go bad because they cancelled everything.
Other than the orcs. I mean,
Oh, those guys. Yeah, okay.
They
Well-
canceled it all. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, but like, if they're not all dead, then the guards can hold them off, right?
they didn't last time. I don't know that we've done much to improve their odds this time.
You know what? I really fancy going and finding that that black market spot.
Aye.
Right? We've heard so much about it, but we never actually tried to find it.
What?
We got distracted, right? We got distracted by orcs and stuff last time.
True. They are quite pesky distraction.
They do demand so much attention. Yeah.
Where do you suppose we should look?
Well, did we lost the trail last time? All those nasty things attacked us, and Bash got themselves trapped.
You mean in the sewers?
Yeah.
And from the back, Bash like pipes up. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be, and then keeps walking.
You know, it's been a dark couple of minutes, hours. Time moves weirdly here. Going underground seems somehow poetically dark as well. But if you want to run with the shitstorm that is our current circumstance, we can certainly do so.
The damn
Sewers, shitstorm. Darkness of the soul. It's all coming together.
I'm not much of a poet.
Yeah, me either. I mean, Bash thinks I should be a bard.
And Bash from the back is like, we're specifically not supposed to do anything important. Let's go fishing. It's specifically requested by the deities in the sky not to do anything that requires mapping or combat.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry, my muffins.
Maybe. I mean, I do kind of see Bash's point there. I mean, there's nothing we can do because, like, you know, everything's been blocked. Like they're just sitting there looking smug everywhere we turn up.
Pretty much.
Right?
Pretty much. It's just fucking assholes everywhere.
The sword of cast peeks up and is like, burn them all!
Yes! But maybe not today.
Yeah, I mean, Bash like pats the sword and is like, yes, I agree, but perhaps not this rotation.
Doesn't matter this rotation, next rotation. They'll be back again tomorrow.
I mean, if I have a long enough time to learn create bonfire, we can literally burn everyone as I cast this cantrip over and over again everywhere to set everything on fire. But just kidding, I'm not going to do that until the very end when Bash really goes mad and sets the world on fire and stands on top of it.
Episode? Noted.
It's gonna be that thing where they cast bonfire and everything, and then you don't know where they are, just that everything's on fire, and then you come into like zoom in on the square and like
you have your Sephiroth moment.
Yeah, no, it's like a pile of orc corpses that have turned into a throne with the sword of Cass on it, and then Bash just like no hair, but Conan the Barbarian streaming hair, just like sitting there, and then they fall over and die.
That's funny because as you were describing that, I totally had the picture in my head of the Elmo fire gif.
Yeah.
Except with a dragonborn.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Flames.
Yep. That's pretty much, yeah. That's Bash's end goal. That's like if you hadn't pulled her back, that's her brain was going that way.
Well, Arafor, what do you say?
To hell with it.
Look, it's not. Go ahead.
No, please.
Well, I know you're feeling trepidatious, like we should be doing more. We should actively be trying to solve this metaphysical puzzle that we're in. However, there was a time where I died, where I saw a mysterious figure at the docks. I'm just saying.
So if we spend more time there, we can figure out
things.
What kind of fish? Yeah, and what kind of fish they have in the river.
Exactly.
Sounds good. Now, I'm thinking, do we want to do these things that Bash loved doing? Is it not just going to make her more depressed? Remind her of the absence of that?
I mean, I'm hoping it'll give us something to hold on to, something that will motivate her. But you're right, it could extremely backfire. You're very right. This is why I'm not a therapist.
It's going to go two ways. It's going to be, like I said before, we need to hold on to what we're aiming for, remember why we want to get home. We trigger some more memories to give us more power, more drive to carry on with what we're doing. Or it's going to make her flip out and she's going to burn everything to the ground.
I mean, not everything, but I'm sure we could stop her if she rampaged. Mostly you.
I mean, last I was thinking back to, we didn't do very well before, but that was Bash and me against Khan.
Do we see DM? Do we see any trees around, like within the city?
No.
Oh
There
crap!
are some like palm trees near the docks. Think like the Nile. Egypt.
And now what I'm thinking of is where the docks are located in this town, how much disgusting sewage is hanging out there as it moves, because it's like a cut into the rock and there's like a ledge right here. So I'm looking at the map of the town and I'm like, hopefully this river is swift enough to where the garbage.
So we figured out before that the river was flowing left to right.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember that was one of the first things we worked out.
right. And so I assume all the waste is getting dumped at the docks and moving past and not before the dock. I don't know. I don't know how the city's plumbing works.
Nor do I.
Okay.
But you can bet the mage tower's just dumping it in there.
Yeah, no, for sure. The mage towers. Well, I mean, it's weird because I feel like you just press to digitate it, but it's fine.
Magic.
Yep. How do they have plumbing? Magic. Ba-da-da-da-yup-a-boo.
Say the magic words. Got-a-doo.
Yeah.
They have this magical carpenter named Deus Machina. Which is just a level 20 transmutation carpenter.
I mean, it's amazing how
Such
many
good work.
times that person comes up in everybody's campaign when it comes to any sort of city infrastructure.
Star of my own.
Yes. Well, you can't fault the workmanship.
I mean, if you do, he's level 20, so he just smotes you into the ground. You're like, actually, I feel like maybe if we made these pipes out of something other than leather. Bat.
It's actually
Leather
just,
pipes.
it's actually just Mario. Our level 20 transmutation carpenter is Mario.
Oh, man. All right. So are we going to the docks? Because Bash is just following you guys. So where
We come to a crossroads, and then I look at Arafor. Well,
Yep. I honestly think wherever we go, we're just gonna butt up against a brick wall. It's just we're not gonna get anything done. And I don't know about you, but I'm knackered after that fight. Do you see what we did? And he like jumps up on top of Elkminster. And he's like, "We defeated a demon."
in large measure to your capabilities and prowess.
That was incredible.
Who got
It
the
was
final
incredible.
strike on that?
I did.
Right, excellent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I was also, the one that was in melee range and attacking it. So, yeah. With help from all my friends, flanking and also casting magic missile on it, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
If you guys start heading to the docks and you're like talking about this, Bash will like pop up in screen view and their eyes get all big and they're like, are we gonna do a beach episode? And so she like takes off all of her clothes except for the sort of cost, because if 10 feet goes between her and the sword, she goes blind. So she kind of has to keep that as part of her uniform.
There's
Okay.
one of those like Victorian bathing suits on.
Yep, exactly. It's 1950 or 1920s, like muscle man, like
stripes.
exactly. And she all of a sudden has like a waxed mustache, and she has a trident and the sort of cost strapped to her back. And
Yeah, make
Yep.
sure I was happy you didn't go with the chainmail bikini.
no, not functional for swimming. Are you
Would
kidding me?
have rusted as well. Chafing.
Nightmare.
That's why I'm happy.
And so yeah, she like comically walks towards the water and jumps in, and she's gonna start like spearing fish.
But I mean, you are the master fisher, but the way I've seen fishing done is people quietly sit by the dock and don't disturb the fish. But if scaring them is the tactic you think is most efficient,
And she's already like dove in off of the docks and is like swimming across this river, and gonna end up like on the other side. Depending on where's the force field that prevents us from leaving? Is it like in the middle of the water?
Just buoys.
Yeah. Does she hit like
levelate beyond this point?
Yeah. Does she like hit an invisible wall that's like around the mage tower? I'm just trying to figure out because she's gonna try and find a beach where there's nobody. So she's gonna like try and swim straight up from the docks all the way across this river.
You can totally do that. There is no, sorry, you have not rendered beyond here.
Oh, okay. I assume that there was like the city resets. You can't go further than this from the city. But if it's not, then yeah, she's like on the. By the time you guys are like, yeah, maybe we should do this, and she hears that, she's like, I have no idea what the distance here is. Like 2 miles. She just like swims like 2-3 miles to the other side.
Do you still see her, Aerophone?
Say again?
3 miles?
Do you still see her?
It's kind of choppy. Look, I guess, I mean, we knew she was going to be excited.
Gratuitous shots interspersed here between their conversation of her like her butt sticking out and her like stabbing a fish and being like, ooh, maybe like a dog like snapping at her underwear, and she's like, ah,
like
it's a river. It's a riverbed. See, look, it's fine. She's on the other side. It's a beach. It's probably
too vivid an image in my mind of that with a dragonborn now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a look. You said beach episode, and so that's what's happening. Okay?
No, you said beach episode.
I said it, and therefore that's what it's going to be. It's a goddamn beach episode. So what's actually happening is they're staring at Bashir like floating on the water and just sighing, and in her head it's the beach episode. So none of this is actually happening. So you guys can feel better about it, but. Just so everybody knows, the fan service that's happening right now in Bashir's head is totally like her playing volleyball with Val Kilmer and just like sweating and like giving him chest bumps and being like, ah, yeah, fuck yeah. So anyway, that's what's happening in her head. It doesn't necessarily need to be real because some people don't like beach episodes or whatever. Ugh.
Oh my god.
Diverse. There's no pleasing some people.
Do you have a bow or a crossbow or anything?
You gonna shoot it? What are you doing?
Target practice?
Don't judge me. No, do you have a bow or a crossbow?
Yeah, and he pulls out his light crossbow and starts aiming at Bash. Sure.
Diveris takes the bolt. Give me that.
What did you mean?
And then he reaches into his bag and pulls out some twine. And then he takes a bit of tobacco, pulls it at the end of the twine. And with this crossbow bolt that's like whatever this long.
I'm pretty sure you could probably find somebody who's like has extra rods if you really.
Quiet, you're disturbing the fish.
It's okay.
I'm going fishing with my tobacco.
She's over there now. She's driving all the fish in this direction. It's the perfect time.
Right. I'm going to catch something and I'm going to bring it to her.
No. Come on, Diverse. You've been in the forest with us for long enough. Surely you must know tobacco is not the way forward.
Do I look like the type of person that keeps fish bait in their what?
What?
I was gonna say worms, and I thought, well, maybe.
Look, just reach in that bag of holding and wish for worms, and it'll just appear in your hand as you reach out.
That only happened once.
These night crawlers are huge.
Yeah,
We'll
but
catch the biggest fish.
it got us out of that vampire encounter.
Yeah.
Luck.
Who'd have thought the worm was the answer?
Yeah.
I mean, anytime Bash is dancing, the worm is always the answer. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
I think if you did that, what I'd have you pull out is Mind Flayer tadpoles.
Oh no.
Oh God. No, please don't look. What we don't need is mind flayer tadpoles existing in a realm where it just keeps resetting over and over again. Please.
No, that's when we finally break free. We're back home in the Dapplewood, and then just...
Every single fucking person is a oh no. Yeah.
We just have like a plastic little bag of the little flying around.
Look what we caught. Don't
I
ever
got it
let
at the
them
carnival.
Hey, it's festival season in Japan. Go and get all the goldfish you want.
The mind flare goldfish.
The most yeah, I mean the scariest goldfish you can imagine. Don't worry, they're just gonna eat your brains and then grow into a cephalopod, and then it's fine. It's
Or
fine.
it doesn't transform and it becomes one of those giant.
Oh
things.
God, yeah, the scary ones that like don't properly. Yep.
Okay, so DM, do I see any fish in the water as I'm fishing?
Yes, there are definitely fish in the water. There might you even see. It's not that wide across the river. I revisited the map. You even see crocodiles lounging on the other side. You see birds. It's very full of life. This area.
Okay. When I'm gonna wait for a particularly larger fish to come by, and then I'm gonna go. Careful, watch this. And I pull out my dagger, and I cast magic missile.
That's very smart because I was going to get you to roll to hit.
I guess. And so these arrows of magical energy through the water.
How much
Pools
HP?
of red.
Yeah. It just
How much
floats to the
HP
top.
does a
Yeah, I was thinking
how
about
much HP does a pike have?
Do you want me to roll damage?
No, I'm going to say it's not going to be more than like 1 or 2. I mean, rats are like 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just see this big large fish just float to the surface.
But does force magic get diffused in water?
Don't take this from me. Don't take it.
No, you catch the fish. You catch the fish.
This is as outdoorsy as I get.
And this is in the background. Bash's Steve Irwining one of these crocodiles and being like, "Boy, isn't she a beauty?" Oh, and just like wrestling it. Anyway,
So I hold the fish up to my face. Therefore, draw me a portrait. My friends are gonna love this.
Just a moment. Oh, okay. I'll wait then. Yeah, I was like, okay. Wait there. Yeah.
Hurry,
okay.
my shoulder's about to fall off. It's not that big of a fish.
I catch it, but then I'm like, okay, put it down. And then, okay, now step back. Beovan may bless us with this bountiful catch that Diveris has landed for us, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame and cook the fish.
You're going to gut it? You're just going to cook it?
Oh, wait, yeah, waste not, one not.
Okay, cool, yeah. Nice.
wow. You know, it's always Air4. I mean, Bash is always so surprised when Air4 has tuned their sacred flame to the point where they just perfectly cook a fish instead of, charring it to black and death. They're like, you just have to lightly graze it with the sacred flame, sort of like you're glazing something.
Do you leave like the 3 grill marks? Yeah. It's just
Air4 carries around like basil and like thyme and just like sprinkles it. He's just like,
Time Bay.
yep,
Revisiting
exactly.
this whole day. So there we go.
Why are you enjoying
Breakfast is up.
fishing, swimming, playing with crocodiles? You, the day moves on. It takes a while to cook fish. And you do hear those war horns sound off in the distance because you're at the far end of the city.
crap, I didn't think this far ahead.
And Bash has a viper in her hand, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's so rare to find one of these. Look at this is amazing." She's like, if you milk it properly, you can get enough antivenom to save one person. Oh, it's amazing. And she's like playing with this gigantic snake.
So did you swim back to us? Because I thought you were on the other shore.
Yeah, no, she had the snake like with her while she swam, and now she's on the dock.
Okay, so you came back to us.
And I'm showing you this like extremely deadly viper. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it's like, geez, I've never seen one.
Belt.
Yeah, I've never seen one this big before. It's fucking huge. Look at the fangs, and she like presses the top of its skull, and these huge like fangs come out. It's like, man, it's already dripping venom. You can tell. And she like tastes it. She's like, ah.
Bashira, Arafor made you breakfast.
Yeah, we left you some.
How much of the fish is actually left?
I haven't touched any.
Oh, okay.
So 2/3?
Arafor has eaten the whole fish, and what's left is like the anime fish skeleton with the head on it and like the tail.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like
his favorite bit.
He's like Cat from a cartoon done it and just been like puts it down. All right. Right, my favorite bit, sure. The old anecdote about how the poor mom says she loves the head and the tail of the fish the most because she wants her kids to eat the healthy part, and then her kid just keeps sending her the heads and tails of fish for her entire life. She never.
That's dark.
Yeah, I know exactly. Sorry, DM. I didn't mean to. Anyway, so yeah. She takes the like water viper or whatever that she was holding and sort of like throws it back into the water, and you guys see it like skim the water as it like goes away. And she grabs like the bones and the head and the tail of this fish and sort of just like and just is crunching on it. And yeah, she's like, I like the meat part and the belly too, right? And she's like, as she's like slurping on the tail.
No problem. I go back to the dock with my fishing pole. My fishing bolt.
And so as she's like licking her fingers from all the delectable juices of the sacred flame timed fish, the war horn sound, and she's just like, right.
Arafor's like shoulders droop down. He's like, it was going quite nice. We're having quite a nice morning of it.
Well,
I mean,
because you're all looking around, everyone roll me a perception check.
Ooh. And then it became serious for some weird reason, and Bashir was not into it.
22.
23.
Nah.
I rolled really high.
Bash, Arafor? Because this part of the docks where you are, you went looking for a beachy part. There's like reeds and palms, and you're quite far away from the actual docks. You're kind of like on the edge of the city, the wall comes out a little bit. You do see a shadowy figure step out from what looks like a derelict, a defunct sewer entrance. Go along the edge of the shoreline, against the wall, across rocks, and disappear out into the woods just outside of the city.
What time is it? Is it like the war horns just sounded?
The war horns sound at 8, and I may have to retcon this time in the future.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I had it written down vaguely.
So it's vaguely about 8, 9.
Okay.
They headed out towards the woods.
Yes, they headed out towards the woods.
Bash, did you see that? Diverse, did you see that?
No, I'm fishing.
Yeah, that's the figure. Diverse, and she like grabs you by the shoulder as you're fishing and like turns you around. Is this who you saw? And it's gone by now, but she doesn't think about that. And so there's nothing there, and she's like shadowy, like, and describes what she saw.
In so many woods, yes.
Now, do you think?
And so, I mean, you say yes, and Airfor will begin to talk, and Bash is going to run around the wall and start going into the forest after it. So you're like, do you think? And Bash is like, no, 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 and she's not wearing any gear or anything. She's
No,
still
she
wearing.
doesn't.
Yes, Airful.
I'd give up on that fishing. I think Bash is hungry for something else.
Better go make sure she doesn't hurt herself or someone else.
And so once Bash hits the woods or the plains leading up to the woods, she casts Find Steed.
That
And
takes 10 minutes, by the way.
is that a 10-minute spell, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Because
I'm a serial paladin player.
I have never actually. Oh, it does take 10 minutes. Holy crap! Yeah, no. Okay, so you see her run off Naruto into the, and then around the corner, you just see her like laying on the ground and like carving symbols into the dirt. And she's like, "Hold on, I'm almost ready." And so like 10 minutes.
At which point we gallop up on Elkminster, like, want to ride?
No, I've got this. Hold on, I've never done this before. I'm fascinated by it. And so she's gonna take like 10 minutes to.
Is there a particular steed that you would like?
She wants anything. Let's see, it can be celestial. So she wants a fiendish, like mastiff. So like she can't ride it, but it's gonna have like scent and the ability to, because it will not make a mastiff large enough for me to ride, because I am like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, you're still a medium creature, though.
Okay, but mastiffs aren't gonna be large, are they? Because it says pony, camel, elk, or a mastiff.
There are other creatures you can have. Oh, and I'm just looking up a particular one that I think will.
Yeah, I just want like a hunting creature.
The mastiff's like aimed at me, I think.
Right. No, that I know. But out of the list that I have written down for the spell, I don't want.
Hey, if you get the mastiff, we can swap.
How about a warg?
Okay. Yep, a big ass wolf, with like weird spiny hair and like poison dripping out of its mouth. Perfect.
Its CR is half. It is a large creature. It's a monstrosity.
Okay.
And it's
so yeah,
50. So
you guys are like, so she tells you to go. She's like, go, follow it. And so, don't wait for her.
Well, I don't think that's going to end well. Why don't we go and get your gear? You just left it on the dock.
She's like, who cares? When it starts again, I'll have it. What we're doing is recon. There's nothing that's going to be involved like number crunching or battle waging. It's just gathering information that then can be changed at any later date because it's not important.
Do you hear that, Diverse? We're going recon. And Arafor touches Diverse and does Blessing of the Trickster on him to give him advantage.
Are we moving with Elkminster?
Not if we're going to go recon. Elkminster's more of a cavalry charge kind of thing.
I have an idea.
Oh, yeah.
I can cast Fly on your elk.
We now have a reindeer.
Yeah, it's Rudolph, baby. Or Dasher.
I knew it was Dasher. I was right the first time.
Would you like that?
Yes.
I don't care if Airfor likes it. I like it as a player, so therefore do it so it's entertaining. Now I'm just.
Hey,
so Diverse will.
My elk, you back off.
Inhale deeply of his pipe, taking a full just lungs worth, and then send out this.
Everyone's like just jumping up and down on the back. It's like yeah.
Send out this billow of smoke, just like that. The clouds everyone's vision right into the camera. and the smoke gradually, like tendrils and plumes, go to the flank, to the side of it, and form like ethereal, smoky wings.
Jump on then.
I'm good.
Pat Elkminster's neck and say, do you know what to do?
Does your Elkminster talk?
No.
Just needed to check.
No.
What noises do? Yeah, I only know what they look like drunk. Yeah, so you see these great, smoky, vaped almost, ethereal wings spread.
Dubstep kicks in.
Feathers spread. They flap slowly, and you feel yourselves lift off the ground.
Well, yeah. Yep. Dent.
Go on. Go. As she's still like carving things into the dirt and like summoning, she's like, oh, whatever. So
This is Arifal's first time off the ground, and it's just like eyes just like wide, and it's just like
It's very slow. It's very slow. You know, like when you get on a crazy roller coaster and you have that 1 minute where they're like getting ready, and it's just like it's very slow, and the floor's getting away really slowly. You know, you feel the weight of gravity pull on you. That's what's happening. What would you like to do with your flying elk?
we try and get eyes on the figure again. I'd say.
So you take to the air, and the forest just outside the city, the one close up to the wall, it's very thick, very dense. There's the occasional clearing, but from the air, you don't really get any clues of if someone has been this way, or you might have. Oh no, that might have just been the shadow. This is not a very efficient way to look from the air.
But it's really cool.
It is really cool, but not efficient.
do you have locate object, Aeroform?
I can't hear you all the way down there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. A voice from the ether says, do you have locate objects?
I might.
Because if all of the things of Vecna are around, you might want to see if you can figure out if one's out in the forest.
Ooh.
But don't you need to be familiar with an object to use locate object?
I thought if you knew the name of it, you could cast a spell on it. Is that wrong? Oh, okay. I have never used it. Describe or name an object.
It has to be familiar
okay.
to you.
Yeah.
All right. So the heart is the only one that you've actually been familiar with. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was like, the orcs have one, and then all these other maybe. Who knows?
So you can. So even if you see an object that's drawn in a book, you
Could
can
I-
still, that would count. But just knowing of it doesn't.
Okay, so note to self: we need to go to a library and try and see.
With that fairly high perception check before, did I get a good enough look at the figure to recall the cloak they were wearing or something?
It's just nondescript black.
But-
Nondescript, shadowy person looking suspicious in shadowy outfit.
Okay, but I wouldn't remember the cloak well enough to do locate objects on that.
I mean, you could certainly try. And I will give you a D100 percentage roll
Okay.
to see if you're successful or not.
I think Arafal is quite interested to test Bearvern's blessings on him because he's been shaken in recent loops. So he's like, let's try something, and I will try.
Okay, roll me a D100.
I will. One.
Wow. I've never seen a 1 rolled on a D100 before.
001.
That's impressive.
That is amazing.
001.
How does that have to be? How do you get 100% then?
All
000.
zeros.
Yeah, no. You get nothing from this forest.
Diverse kind of emphasizes as he just sees the shoulders just droop and hunch a little bit. Just Arthur's just like,
Oh, come on! Don't do this to me too. I'm not licensed.
The strange episode where Diveris is the happy one.
There's the happy therapist.
Arthur must be sitting in front of Diverse, right, on Elkminster. So he just kind of just like collapses back against Diverse's chest, winces a bit because it's bony and hard, and it's just like, ah.
Oh, good. I thought this was gonna get weird.
Oh, Diverse.
I just kind of like awkwardly like pat you. Yes. Arrow 4.
Just hold me.
God. I jump off.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
Are you gonna cast Featherfall on yourself?
No, I will recast Fly at 4th level on me and Elkminster.
Okay, wait.
No, Arrow, I saw something. It's just purely bad timing. I saw something and
Song change. It's actually from Aladdin, so it's I can show you the world. All right, and then you leap off. Too bad.
Indescribable. Nope. And then I'll just like jump off.
Tell me, princess, now when you let your heart anyway.
No. No.
Just
Gone.
let your heart decide, Arafor. Let your heart decide.
So I don't know. Do we? Look, I'm not sure. I look at Elbingster. Do they look quite distressed by this? Or are they enjoying this as well?
No, they seem to be handling it quite well for a non-real
Attaboy.
fake elk. That now
Don't
has-
forget to feed it. Damn it.
It doesn't need it.
I thought you told me.
It doesn't matter. It still enjoys the idea.
Right, I would say 10 minutes have passed.
Nice. So,
Bash, please describe your warg emerging from this runic circle that you have drawn in the dirt.
yep, exactly. So the circle is, like a large size, and Bash is just kind of like, I always just walk everywhere. This is so weird. And so places their hands like next to it, and like the dirt starts to ripple in the circle, and like plumes of it explode out, and this purple claws at the ground outside of the circle and slowly like pull itself up, and it's purple, a dark purple with like red roots, and it just pulls itself up, and its teeth are all like emerald, so it has like green gleaming teeth and complete red eyes and just purple like matted fur. So it's not like, it doesn't look clean. It looks like it's dug itself through hell and out into this filthy wasteland. and it comes out and like shakes off, and just like there's patches of fur missing, and like one of its paws is like completely absent any sort of hair or fur, and it's a little bit charred. And it snaps with its green gleaming teeth at Bash when it comes out.
In the back of your mind, Bash, you feel this creature's mind. It speaks to you. You're very aware of its feelings, it's very aware of yours. And it tells you that its name is... Give me a moment. It's Labyrinth.
And so it bares its teeth and snaps at Bash, and Bash like bares their teeth, and in like telepathically to Zabrynth says, "It's time to hunt," and like gets on top of it, and is gonna just like run, like bolt straight into the forest.
Okay.
And following any sort of path that looks like it would be a way that Smokey McScaredyson walked.
Alright, give me a second just to get...
So I can look up wargs if you need. Do they need like a survival check, or do they
Yeah.
give me advantage, or I don't know how it works.
So what you get, I will let you know.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
just getting its stat block. Gonna take a second.
Yeah.
Wow, Roll20 just gave me a runtime error. So it has keen hearing and smell. So it has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing and smell. And if I'm not mistaken, it gets a boost to its intelligence, which used to be... Oh no, it's fine. Yep. Doesn't get a boost to its intelligence.
I think it only gets a boost if it's low.
Yeah. And there's something else it gets with Fine Seed. Bear with me, it's been a while since I've ridden Angaster, which is the name of my celestial giant lizard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking either warg or it was going to be one of the lizards that Bash already wrote in like the first episode, and I was like, just that again will be fine. But...
There's three kinds of... Wow, really? There's three kinds of giant lizard. One that can swim. Four kinds. Normal ones that can climb, ones that can swim, and ones that can swim and climb.
So what is Diveris doing as we try and...
Yeah, you guys do that.
Yeah.
But let's just quickly...
As we sort this out.
I will just fly around Aerofor and just be like, all right, we've got about 8 minutes before we crash back to reality. Well, reality.
Can we go in different directions? Are we okay?
We certainly can. Divide and conquer, you know?
Yeah, you kind of go over that way. We'll go over this way.
No, I want to go that way.
Okay.
That's right.
Your magic.
Aerofor always goes left.
I want to go left this time.
Brave New World. Right,
Okay.
well.
Its wisdom is 11. So, would you like to roll me a smell check for your walk at advantage, please, Bash?
Okay. D20 straight up, nothing extra. 16 was the highest.
It's just the mark. So you're not exactly quick through the forest. You walk as it's nose pressed to the ground, sniffing. It tells you that it smells a human. A human had passed here not so long ago. He also gets this faint smell coming from the east of orc.
And I just say, Zabrant, the human.
And they're kind of like searching this one glade. They seem to be sniffing along trees, along leaves, along the ground, everywhere. And it says, also from the east. And it begins off. Guys from above, as you're kind of like searching, you do see Bash on a very large, kind of diseased, sickly, but also very powerful looking wolf, dog, monkey, kind of. Very strange looking, this creature. It's also bright purple and red. Well, purple and red, dark purple with red roots.
The back of his head, Diveris is like, this is what I would look like if I was a druid. A diseased wolf.
You can see Bash going towards the east. So Bash, you carry on the way. Your walk is carrying on. And you hear voices off the different distance. Zabrant stops. Long, elegant, almost bat-like ears. They're all quite flat to its head, raise up. They do that. You know, when they like search individually. I love it when dog's ears do that. And you hear very faint, almost screaming of a man, and that strange language once again that you heard once in the sewers.
Okay.
Did anyone head in the sky? Did anyone head in the east?
I think we were searching as we were slowly making our way towards the east, yeah.
Cool. You hear it too.
So Bash hops off of Zabrinth and sort of lays a hand on its head and telepathically tells it to just stay here.
Mm-hmm.
And will then attempt to stealthily get up towards where this screaming is.
Let me stealth check, please.
All right. And just so everybody remembers, Bash left without any of their gear as far as armor goes. So
yes, you're not disadvantaged.
I don't have disadvantage. But it doesn't help when
Silver linings?
yeah, when Bash rolls a 2. So that's a 4 total.
Bash, you think you're being so quiet considering that you're usually in armor. So even though you're stepping on leaves and there's that wet leaf sound and there goes a twig underneath the weight of you and all you shifts and pebbles, this is so quiet compared to how you are usually.
I mean, yeah, usually the chain shirt jingles, so obviously this just sounds like a squirrel or something walking through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously.
And as you get closer, making no noise as you do, the screaming is muffled and everything goes very quiet.
Okay, that seems like an obvious sign to Bash that they have been detected, and so all the careful stealth that they had up until this point, they abandon and run towards the screaming with the sword of Kos in both of their hands because they don't have a shield with them.
You run through the thicket, through the woods, thick, pushing back through things. You know, you're getting quite wet. It's very moist, this forest. And you get to a clearing. And there's no one in it.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure that this... I have to... Excuse me while I check something. Well, what are the other two doing? Well, I
Yeah.
just want to...
Other two. You heard screaming, you headed that way, and then it abruptly stops.
Do we see or hear Bashira charging through the woods?
You do hear something very heavy and large charging through the thicket, yes.
Oh God, I don't want to fight that. Whatever that is, I don't want to fight it.
True. Can we? Did the sound that the strange language we heard, is it the same as we heard the orcs using in the Suez?
Yes, it is.
Okay. But that's also gone.
Yes.
So can we make out any other group moving away, or in any direction, like other than over Bash's noises, or?
You can certainly try. Roll me a perception. I like how
15?
I like how diverse just doesn't bother anyone. The noise of the heavy thing moving through the forest, and you strain, and obviously the sound of the river, the sound of war and all that going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's almost like as you strain and try and lift them through the noises of the animals and nature, and it's kind of like almost these things just kind of went to ground, like they'd been discovered and they just wanted to not be heard, not be seen.
Okay. If we fly in that direction, can we see anything from above that might be waiting to ambush Bash? An ambush, if you will.
So you
No.
So you fly,
I won't.
You fly down. You reach the clearing. As I said, the woods are very, very thick.
Yeah.
There's like almost like a rainforest impenetrable canopy. So you have all these beautiful layers of trees. But you have this clearing. You do not see any danger in the trees, but you do see Bash in the middle of this clearing.
So, if I use Turn the Faithless, the channel divinity, if something taking on its true form, does that mean invisibility disappears or no?
You are ancients, yeah? Read it all.
Yeah.
Read it all out to
Sure,
me.
sure.
Thanks.
Okay. So, as an action, all Fae and Fiends within 30 feet that can hear me must make a wisdom saving throw. If one fails, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage and must show true form.
Yeah.
Turn, move
Yeah.
away, never within 30 feet of me, and no reactions or actions other than to run.
So with Fae and Fiends, they can possess, they can also take other forms, certain Fiends and very powerful Fae, especially like the Fae Court. So show true form would be to revert them back into their natural state, but I would also allow that to carry over to invisibility.
Because I don't really have anything I don't have fairy fire or anything. So the only way that Bash can kind of see that these things like heard them, obviously, and they ran in and then they disappeared. Either they're invisible and they're staying around, because it's that, or okay, I think instead of doing that, mostly because I don't know if it works on. I mean, I know you just said it will, but I don't know if in Bash's brain if it works on magic, like invisibility, like a spell,
No, so it would only work on
like
Fae and
right
Fiends.
or fiend, like if they had. Yeah. Okay. So I think she would like to call Zabrinth forward, and then also try and do like a survival check, either with Zabrinth or with by herself, to sort of like suss out if there are people in this clearing or close around the clearing that are moving or trying to stay silent.
Okay,
Right.
I would say if you wait for Zabrinth, you can have it
Mhm.
with advantage. If you do it now, you can do it normally.
Okay. So I think she calls Zabrinth with her mind to come into this clearing and sort of help her out. So that'll give the other two a chance to do something.
Airport,
Circle of Love.
you landed, or you're still flying?
I was thinking I was going to try and have like Elkman's to come down stealthily, like, quietly, and then like dismount into a tree, into a branch, like higher up, and try and just keep eyes on the situation.
Okay. Deveris messages you as you're going down. She's like, "You're crazy." That's all.
But I can I reply?
Get its message.
Yeah.
10 words
Yeah.
or less.
Okay. But Bash might be in trouble.
Yes, you can do another one.
Bash is still probably digging in the dirt. And there's some giant beast somewhere within these woods.
All I heard was "and this," and it finished.
Yep. Deveris is just talking to himself in his head.
So, but she hasn't got any of her stuff.
Well, all right, just be careful. I'll keep eyes up here.
Okay.
You and Elfminster land on a nice bit of canopy, like a delicate butterfly that lands on a piece of leaf. You like bends a little bit. Very idyllic, very graceful.
Yeah, Arthur's still kind of half just marveling at this whole thing, and then half looking at what he's doing.
Or like those Star Wars ships that seem to also land like butterflies.
Yes. The Imperial ones.
Yeah. Very strange. Bash. Would you like me to roll this here? Would you like to roll that?
Sure. So yeah, I mean, Zabrinth shovels in with way more grace and stealth than Bash did, and sort of like Bash is a little bit surprised and is like, "Oh, yeah, nice," and then it's like, "Seek." Oh, and he gets advantage. Thank Christ, he rolled a 1, or they rolled a 1, so advantage. Oh, okay. 10.
You know what? This wasn't a hard check.
But that's why I rolled so low.
This wasn't actually a very hard check because this creature. They just immediately, as soon as they put their nose to the dirt, they lift their head back up and begin growling at nothing. The hair, the fur begins to stand on end. Lips peel back to reveal those gleaming emerald teeth. Ears go back.
I really wish things like command worked on invisible creatures. So
No, you have to see them!
I know. I'm just saying, Bash does not have a lot of fight against invisibility.
Oh, 1 second, someone's at my door.
maybe if I find vehicle on top of where I think they are, it'll land on
Yeah.
them. Oh wait, hold on. What about?
What do we think? Is this like orcs with invisibility?
The sword of cast is home.
I like this type of work.
Okay.
Okay, moonbeam only works on shapeshifters.
Hmm.
Oh my god. Okay. What about? Okay. How big is this clearing?
Arena sized.
What's arena size?
No, you've never known that term? Like, you know when you go into... You're playing a video game, right? And you're
Right.
like, it's all like, oh, narrow, narrow. And then you just get into a big open space for no reason. You're like,
Sure.
boss fight.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm curious about is, let's see, is it if I put something that has a radius of 60 feet in the middle of this arena,
Will it cover? Yeah, it will cover all of
will
it.
it cover it? Okay. So I think this is so worthful.
Are you fireballing the...
No, I'm gonna call lightning. So Bash like grabs the sword and is like, obviously there's something here. Sword. Find it.
Cool.
And like, yeah, exactly. By the power of Kos. No, I mean, I think I can't see it obviously, but you can. And like holds the sword out and is like, find me the enemy. And the sword casts call lightning. So a storm cloud like appears immediately above.
Yeah, so flyers.
Yeah, exactly.
It got very dark very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And so a 60-foot like radius of clouds shows up. And then underneath the cloud, like in the middle of the cloud, a lightning bolt just like shoots down. So anything within 5 feet of the lightning bolt has to like make a save.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be as useful.
Wow, this spell is really powerful.
I know. Well, all three of these spells are really powerful. Like Divine Word and Finger of Death are both 7th level. So, but Call Lightning is only 3rd, so whatever, that's fine.
It's 3d10, but
Yeah.
if you're outdoors in stormy conditions, it gives you control of that spell instead, and it's an additional 1d10.
Mm-hmm. Is it stormy though, or is it not?
No, it's now stormy. No, but right, it was a nice day.
Yeah.
Okay. As the lightning strikes the ground, there's this brilliant flash, a very loud noise. There's a big hole in the floor, and for a brief second, Bash, you see cloaked figures that are masked in the wilderness, almost disguised by wilderness, by their cloaks.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, what? It's going to be. So it's a concentration spell, and I assume Bash has to make the concentration check and not the sword. I don't know how.
No, the sword makes a concentration step.
Okay. But so it's up for 10 minutes. So Bash is just like every turn that they have an action, the sword is going to just like move the lightning bolt around and try and like, because if Bash can't see them and until the team does something else, this is all Bash really has.
I assume we see, or more specifically, I see Bashira doing this.
Yes, you do. And
Okay.
from the air, they're actually a little bit easier to see.
Okay, I will message Bashira and just be like, "What? Have you lost your mind? What are you doing?"
There's something in these woods. Send.
I will recast. Where? What? You gonna fry it?
They're hidden somewhere. This is the only way I know how to see them.
Hold on. And I will come to the ground, dropping fly on both me and
Goodbye.
Your elk is now very heavy and that tree begins to bend.
Arafo, hold on.
I'll dispel it. It's like,
Amidst this lightning storm, I will use a spell slot to cast Detect Magic. 60-foot radius.
Okay, cool. Right, let me just deal with
Yeah.
the
Sorry.
dexes.
Okay.
They rolled a 1. They rolled a 1. They rolled an 11. They rolled a 4.
And the DC is 15, I believe.
Yeah, so they all failed.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's DC 18
Yeah,
for this sword.
They all failed.
Okay. Did you want me to roll the damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
These things are meaty.
So 3d10, 20 damage.
Okay.
How many times am I rolling it, or just the one time?
Yeah,
I use it?
just one time. Cool.
Okay. 20 damage.
Brilliant. This knocks a few of them, and what you see before you, 4 of them, are now singed, very lean, very nimble looking orcs. Dressed as what can only really be described as creatures that would come for you in the night and in dark shadowy corners. And the various, as you cast detect magic, you see 3 more, and one has a human hidden under their cloak. And you can only tell this because the human is wearing magical armor.
Okay.
So how do we... Yeah, go ahead.
Are we in initiative or anything?
No?
So my detect magic gave me like a flash of them, but they're still invisible.
3 of them are still invisible, 4 of them
Gotcha.
are not.
Gotcha. And the one with the human is invisible.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And yes, I'm not rolling initiative. My brain can't handle it. We're gonna do a non-initiative combat.
My favorite kind of combat.
Starting now, or
Wait, but how does the combat work? Or
So, for those of you that have never done non-initiative combat before, we would say that it started with Bash. Obviously, you still follow the rules of action, bonus action, movement, free action. But you just take your turn, but you only get 1 turn per round. So once you know everyone's had their turn, you start again. And you can go in any particular order, because if you know what you want to do, you just move on. Okay? So you literally just throw the initiative away. That's all that happens. Okay, so Bash went first and singed a few of them. And Diveris, I would say your detect magic was simultaneously and revealed the other 2. I will now say, since no one else is saying anything, I will take the Orc Red Fang's turn. The ones that are revealed, singed, injured as they are, they draw weapons. And the ones that are invisible turn to leave, dragging the human with them. And that's all for their turn. Arafo, you have not had a turn.
No. How far away from them am I?
So I kind of imagine an arena, little circle. We just say Bash is down here. I would just say, were to the north.
Okay.
Just kind of looking into the thing. And then we'd have Davarius. Would you prefer east or west?
No preference.
Right.
East.
Okay. We'll have you on the right then. And then the orcs will be in a little cone, like in the middle and to the edges, on the left. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think. Am I within 30 feet of my allies?
Yes.
Yes.
Why not?
Okay. Okay. Good. Then I will cast Bless on the three of us.
Excellent.
So we get a D4 to add to any attack roll or saving throw.
Very good.
And I shall try and hide myself in this tree.
Roll me stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Right down my ears.
Should I say that? Or just write it?
Say it for now and then remember it for me.
Okay. It was just an 8.
Okay.
And don't actually remember it. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
I'll say it was an 8 and remember it as an 18.
Yeah, even better.
Steel trap up here.
There was an 8 there, I know. 28, I feel.
This gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I believe that was a 58 for stealth.
Wow.
There was an 8 somewhere in there. Are we?
Oh no, it was on its side. It was infinity. Perfect.
Right. I have all of the stealth. I have, in fact, assumed and consumed all stealth.
The orc deals 2 extra dice of damage. 2 extra dice of damage.
On a sneak attack, you mean? Or the ferocious whatever it is?
It's called a Hand of Sargas.
Oh, so it's something different.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever their damage dice is plus 2.
Okay, so instead of 3d6,
It'd be 5d6.
it's 5d6. Cool.
That's no big deal. I'm glad I left my armor because I'm fine. My AC is great without any of the equipment that gives me it.
Okay. So as the 3 turn to break off, 2 will come for you, Bash. 1 will come for you, Arafor, and 1 will come for you, Diveris. So I'm just going to roll the hits. So Bash, you will be first. These are your 2 hits. An automatic miss and a 24.
Yes, that last one will hit.
For 26 hit points.
Okay. That's fine. No big deal.
Slashing, if it makes any damage. The second one. No, that was it. Only.
Yeah.
Oh no, multi-attack. 2 more.
Oh, I'm glad that these things are level 1,000. Good.
12. They're not level 1000. The challenge rating 3. You can handle challenge rating 3. 12 and another automatic miss.
So 12 to hit is
Yeah.
a miss on me.
Okay, that's them. Ada, for your turn for them. Another automatic miss.
Hey.
And Ivarius, this is a 23.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
Are you on the floor or are you in the air?
I landed.
Oh, right, cool.
Unfortunately.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Right, let me just put my damage. 3d6. No, 5d6 plus 3. Hey guys, can you not have combat? I'd really appreciate it. Sure. Can I take some? 21 hit points.
I mean,
Oh,
to be
fuck
fair, I just wanted to find out what was going on out here and not fight anything. But then I stealthed really poorly.
Yeah,
so.
that's totally what happened.
Oh wow!
No, it is. That wasn't sarcasm.
Okay.
I know.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I know the British accent makes everything sound like I'm really disinterested and dry. But no, that wasn't sarcasm. Right,
Okay.
cool. And that's their turn. Right. What would everyone else like to do?
Now we just are required to run because we can't have combat. So Bash is gonna flee in the opposite, dash as far as they can.
You do have an extra player on the table that you haven't told to bite, maul, charge out.
I mean, I think, yeah, because I don't actually know how this works.
Okay, my favorite thing. Okay, so when you're riding your mount, thank you. When you're riding,
I was what that was.
Yeah, when you're riding your mount, any spell that targets self also targets your mount. Which, if you divine smite, so does your mount. Its initiative is the same as yours, and it kind of acts like Beastmaster. So if you've ever played a ranger, so you do your moves, and then your mount can do theirs. Now, if you're not riding them, they can do a lot more than if you are riding them. So when you're riding them, it can only do so much. Some say that it can't attack. I ignore that, because if it's got an attack in its thing, because a warhorse can trample with hooves, but to say a giant lizard can't bite is stupid. It can bite, so can your walk if you were riding it. But it's free right now, you're not riding it, and you would have to, with your action, your bonus action, give it orders.
Okay.
Not necessarily orders, but with your bonus, have it anticipate. It's not the same as when you're riding it, and it can do things for you. It can attack, it can dash, disengage, etc. Right?
Okay. So
and its attacks are you have a bite. It's +5 to hit and does 2d6 plus 3 piercing
I have the
damage.
stat block. I have the stat block pulled up actually for the war. Cool. So yeah, I think this is what happens. Bash sees this group and mentally to Zabrynth tells them to follow the human, right? So they're running away with this human, and so Bash tells the warg to follow them and be stealthy or do what it can to sort of find out where they end up. And then Bash is going to sort of circle around towards that group that's trying to flee with the human, and is going to cast use poison breath on the group that is attacking her and Diveris, and anybody else that the breath can catch. So they each need to make a con save.
+2. Nat 20. 16.
Okay, so I think the DC on this is the same as con modifier. Yeah, it's 15 still. Okay. I wasn't sure if it went up since we leveled up, but it has not. So it's 15. So all three of them save, and then they take let's call it 6 damage, I guess, of poison, because that's halved.
Righty. Anyone else who would like to go next?
I want to try to attack one of the invisible people that are running away. So I will firebolt at disadvantage.
Okay.
The highest is a 10 total.
Your firebolt comes out, it streams like a jiggered lightning bolt, and it just strikes a tree.
You can run. You certainly can.
And then Bash, like, you say that and shake your fist, and then Bash says something like, and we'll get you eventually.
Now, soon, in 6 more seconds.
Or like, in another day or something. It'll be around some point. Let me tell you. What?
That is my turn.
Out of 4, your turn.
Yep. So there's one right on me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does it look like just kind of like a rank and file one? Like a normal. Like, was there anything like distinguishing about any of the ones that were leaving?
The one that has the human seems more impressive and bigger.
Yeah. And
That's the important one. You can always tell by size.
Wish I was an orc. Okay. I would like to cast my spiritual weapon.
Okay.
And attack.
I love your spiritual weapon.
It's like, boom. And it will appear. I want to appear next to that important looking one, and go for them.
Who's invisible? So this attack is at disadvantage.
Okay. Oop, nope. It's a 9.
Please describe how these creatures miss. I love your spiritual weapon so much.
Well, this is just the single big one because it's a spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes out of thin air, and then it's like like when a dog's like biting at water, like a water fountain. It's just like biting at the air, almost like trying to catch hold of something that's not there. It's just like trying to find where this orc is. It's just like, and I catch it.
Thank you for doing that for me. Right, anyone want to go next? Otherwise, I'm going to have the Red Fang go next.
Is it a new round?
Yes, everyone's had a turn.
Okay, I will attack again at the invisible air at disadvantage with a firebolt with a threatening quip on the tip of my tongue. That's a 13.
Oh, so close. Yeah, once again. Strikes wood. I think this wood had a bit dry though. It starts to burn.
Perfect.
Oh no!
Perfect. Set this place on fire. Do I have to declare that I'm going to use Divine Smite before?
If you're using Divine Smite, no, not before you roll. If you're using Brandishing Smite, Wrathful Smite, Thunderous Smite, you do,
right,
because you have to prime your weapon.
Right, for sure. Okay, so Bash casts as a bonus action Shield of Faith on themselves since they don't have any armor. So please give me 2 more AC. So it's a little bit harder to hit me, just a touch. And then we'll attack the closest, I guess, wherever Diveris is, I kind of want to, because she's in protection mode, kind of want to go for the one that's attacking or as close to Diveris. So if I can't see that one, then whichever one I can see.
Okay, so the ones that are attacking you are very visible. You can see those.
Right.
It's just everyone seems to want to get the invisible ones before they disappear into the nether. Very smart. I'm not disagreeing.
Right. But I also need to make sure that Diveris does not fall over and die.
Yeah.
And that sort of supersedes Bash's kind of protect. So I think the warg tracking is going to be what job done. And so 2 attacks on the ones that are visible that are attacking us. And I will be using the longsword tile mode because I don't have a shield. So
1d12.
That's a critical hit. That's a 20. And I rolled max. I rolled max hit, so it's technically a 30 to hit.
Nice. So roll me all that double damage, not just on your sword, but also on your smites.
Right, and I'm gonna okay. So let's see. So 2d10 for the damage on the sword. Okay, 20. Okay, so 11, and then we're doing 48.
It's dead.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. Let's see.
It's dead.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dead. I will let some of that damage transfer.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Bash kind of like grips the sword, and you see their hands sort of tighten, and not used to using both arms, just kind of like wildly like back swings at this thing, and then comes up at the other one is going to do pretty much the same thing. And they're going to. It's a 17 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. So let's take all these other damaging down. It's not that much damage this time, but it is 5 plus. So it's 12 damage.
Dead.
That one died as well. Oh, okay.
Dead.
Well, I'm glad I overkilled it. All right, and that's all that I can do.
Sweet. 2 down. I'm going to have them go. Invisible ones. You hear rustling in the forest. Oh, they're going away. And for the ones that the 2 are dead, 2 are left. That's 1 on you, Bash. The 1 on Diverse, 1 on you, Bash. 1, I think. So just 2. So this is for you, Bash. An automatic 1. And again, a 12.
Miss.
And for you, out of 4, a 11 and a automatic 1. I have never.
Bring the nat 20. Bring the nat 20.
I've not rolled so many 1s in all my career, apart from on roll 20. Wow, what's happened?
So they're all visible now. The ones that attacked us, right?
Yeah,
they broke through.
Yeah, but there were 4 that were visible because of the lightning, and 3 that weren't. 1 being the big bad. The 3 that weren't, you haven't attacked, are disappearing somewhere in the forest. 2 are dead. There's only 2 visible left, and 2 smoten. Smoten.
They can be
It's like, oh, Bash. I mean, we're all a little smitten with Bash. Come on.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Can I try, like, after just... I'm just like kind of absent-mindedly just like batting these ones away next to me with my shield. I'm like, oh, stop it! And I want to. I'm really like annoyed that those ones escaped my spiritual weapons. So I want to try and dispel magic on that invisibility.
Oh. Roll me a d20, just Just a normal D20.
Just a straight
Yeah.
roll. 8.
Okay. I will allow it.
Thank you. What level of magic is it? Is it a spell? Or is it an item?
It's an item.
Okay.
It will basically, when you cast dispel magic on a magical item, it breaks the attunement.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily break the item.
Yes.
It's basically a piff waffle. Piff
So do
waffle.
they shimmy into view?
Roll me a D100.
Oh no. See if I go the other end. Get 100 this time. 87.
Yes. The big bad holding the human. Looks a bit surprised, like, you know, something's gone wrong.
I point them out like, there! And for my bonus action, I can move my spiritual weapon and attack with it, right?
Yes, you can.
So this Tanuki is like, just whips its head around when it sees it. It's like, yeah! It's like running over towards them. Yep, see? Now I can see that. It's 25.
Yeah, that would hit.
Mm-hmm. And that is a D8 plus 4. 10 radiant damage. No, force damage.
Nipping at their ankles. New round. Everyone's had a turn, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, Diverse, did you have a yeah, you struck a tree. Everyone, right, new round. Everyone's had a turn.
No, it's like,
Wait, are you trying to fan the flames with that, or are you trying to blow it? Hold on, I'm confused. I mean, I'm ready to go. Diverse. Okay, go ahead, Diverse.
I will move. Am I within 60 feet of the person that appeared with the human?
Yes.
Okay. I will cast a hold person as tendrils of smoke try and wrap around them. So that's a wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
What is with all the ones?
Yes!
I never roll ones. Look at this. Where is it? Wait a minute.
I like this dice. Also, I feel like that's the only one that you can use forever now.
You are going in the dice jail.
Last game, I rolled a 1, a nat 20, a 1, and a 1.
Yep.
But so this creature is now as frail as I am and is paralyzed by these smoke tendrils that are keeping it in place. And that's my turn.
Okay.
Does it break free of that if it takes damage?
No.
Okay.
It makes a save at the end of its turn.
Okay.
And I believe melee hits are criticals, but I'll double check.
Please do, because Basher's immediately going to run over to that thing and attack it. But if it's held in place, I kind of don't want to do it and want to clear up the trash first. But
Well, if no one's going to go, I'm going to take their turn.
Go ahead.
They're going to attack you, Bash. There's one on you.
Yep.
For an 11.
Miss.
And one for you and a 4. For a 24.
Ooh.
Ouch.
19 plus 5.
I'll do it.
Yes, that might do it. Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps not. Mm.
5d6 plus 3. For 21 points of slashing
Ouch.
damage. And you know what? I know, Bash, you said you were going to do this thing and charge up at this creature. But they have an ability that allows them to end an effect on themselves, which they're going to use.
Sweet. Legendary actions are awesome.
Is this the person I just held?
Yeah. So I rolled the one, but they can break it, so they break themselves free. You just see them tense up, before they
Sorry,
free.
DM.
It's
One
not
thing
a spell,
I-
is it?
Huh?
It's not a
So one
spell,
thing-
is it? It's just an ability.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just
right.
ability. Out of 4, what were you saying? I'm frozen.
Yeah, just as my reaction before after I take that damage, I use my fade away ability just to go invisible.
Okay. Oh, you that hurt.
Well, it's any damage. I'm saying.
Okay. Oh, it's like you get knocked out of existence.
I'm the most powerful orc that's ever lived. Look at this gnome. I just killed it. It obliterated itself.
Vaporized it.
I will knock the existence out of you.
And this creature, this large cloaked orc, takes hold of this human that it's had in its arms and tosses it at you before it bolts it.
Okay, I mean, seeing this, Bash tells Zabrinth to run it down. And then when you say bolted, do you mean it like dashed? It used like a dash action to run away?
Yeah. Full pelt.
I'm seriously not going to be able to catch it. So there's still 2 that are... Okay, so Bash sees that, sends the warg after it, and then just sort of like turns to the other 2 and is going to... We really need... Do orcs speak warg? Can I intimidate through my warg to understand what these orcs say? Anyway, no, I was just kidding. I was just like, we need an interpreter of orc. Do they speak warg? I can be like, okay, warg, you tell them in warg, and then you translate from... Oh, man. Anyway, so yeah, I turn to the one that's attacking me, and I will smack it.
Okay.
For a 22.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay. And so I'm going to Divine Smite this one as well.
Okay.
6. Okay. So that's 15 damage.
Dead.
Okay. And then, yeah, I can't move and attack again, can I?
Don't you have an extra attack?
One attack action is like both attacks, right? You can't split them up.
You can split them up. You can.
Oh, you can? You can attack, move, and then attack again?
Yeah, totally. Who said you
Oh,
can?
really? I didn't know that.
I used to shield bash first, and then I used to take an attack because you have to take an attack before you can use shield bash them, and then attack again. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could break them up. I thought it was like 2 attacks on the same thing, and that.
No, you can totally break them up.
I move over to the one that was attacking Ivarus. 21 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay, and we'll do Divine Smite, so that's another 9 damage to that one. Okay.
The lightning took a lot off them.
Yeah.
You're technically out of our non-initiative.
I mean, and then Bash will just immediately turn and start trying to chase after the one that has ran away.
So guys,
I will.
you guys are left in a clearing with a very frightened, alive human male with dirty blonde hair.
He hears a disembodied voice on his shoulder. This is your conscience. Come clean. Tell these people, your saviors, what you are doing.
And his eyes just go really wide. Bly. Bly. By Vector's Knickers. Wolfgar. Wolfgar's the name. Gentleman thief. You saved my bloody life, you did.
You are far too chipper.
That is the most amazing gentleman thief dance I've ever seen. I also am glad that Bashir and the sword are not near this thing when he said Vecna, because I feel like the sword would be like, it's an agent, stab him in the heart, kill it.
It would have, yeah.
Jumps in your hand. And Arafel's fade away only lasts till the end of his next turn. So after saying that, he just goes next to this guy. He's like, "Oh, thank you very much." And you're welcome.
And I think it's here that we'll end the session with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a perfect time to end.
Yeah,
because-
with Wolfgar,
Yep.
Gentleman Thief.
And Bashir and Zabrinth chasing after this legendary creature by themselves. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
You don't forget you're unarmored.
Oh, I know. Look, you know, who needs 20 or 18 AC when you can have 15 as long as you have a spell up? Yep, no problem.
Mine is 9, so I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I don't understand how you could possibly make a level like 5 wizard and not invest in like one item that would give you a higher AC. Like just a amulet of don't touch me, fool, and it's like +3. I don't know.
It's the amulet of Mr. T.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like 800 pounds of gold, and you're like, yo, nope.
Wouldn't that just make Diveris just Constantine?
Yeah, he just.
Bring my neck down to my ankles.
Oh dear! Hooray! Well, sorry we made you do combat.
It's all right. We kind of did lazy DM combat. AKA, I couldn't be bothered to track anything, so.
Well, and I also overkilled everything intentionally, so it wouldn't be hard to keep track of. So
yeah, you
I
did.
may have wasted some spells on purpose just to make it easy, but.
I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. You spared my brain today. Literally, as soon as we're finished, I'm gonna go back to work. But before I go, it's all right. This is the last little crazy bit, and then I'm gonna have a couple of days off to recover. I'm gonna have 1 day off to recover because I've got stuff. No, I'm gonna have 2 days off to recover. And then we have the weekend, and then it all goes back to normal. We're back to 4 hours a day, and I refresh, and we'll be good. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, and sticking around with us and putting up with me and my many mistakes. My lovely players were wonderful to me. They carried this session pretty much, and that's what cooperative role playing is. You know, you give a little, you take a little, you tell stories together. I do have a question for you, Bash. How much did you age? How much did you roll?
So
because
I rolled
like,
off.
what's going on? And then it hit me.
I rolled off screen a couple days ago, and this is the curse of the sword. Was you take 3d10 age damage, and then, you have to pass a Constitution saving throw of 10, and then you take 3d10. You age that much, right? So Bash passed the test with a 19, but I rolled 29 on how much I aged, which is almost max, and I was like, oh, good. So yeah, she aged almost 30 years, like in front of people's faces. So
that's what we saw, and when I go back to watch that, I'll listen to it. I'll be like, oh, because I was like, are they like cocooning themselves? Are they turning into a butterfly? What?
I was rereading some of the Oath of the Ancients, and sort of like once you hit level 20, you don't age anymore, and like all this stuff, and it's like you're more in tune with nature.
Oh, okay.
And so I felt like a good idea was for Bash to kind of just like her scales turn more into like a wooden fibrous material. I didn't want to explain it because I literally thought of it on the spot. I was like, wait a minute. Perfect. This is when I'll introduce it.
Yeah. And it was only when you said, oh, and I bend over, and I'm only like Diveris, and I'm like, old.
Yep.
Old.
Yeah. I was like, okay, don't give him too many hints about what it is, because it was fun, because I thought immediately, I wonder if they're gonna wonder what's going on, and I was like, so anyway, yeah, it was like 30 years of life got sucked out of them.
Very good. All right, so guys, let's go around the circle. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, and of course we'll be back next week with Buns for Shadow of Vecna, and we can get back to it. So we'll start with you, Arafo. You always seem to go last, and then you can go first.
That's okay. So yeah, once again, thank you everyone for watching. This is me, Phoenix Iwaki, over in Japan. And I am not on any other streams or anything, but you can find me on Twitter, enjoying talking about D&D and occasional other funny little things that come by. And again, as always, a lovely thank you out to the fellas over at Castle Mac and PowerScore RPG for hosting us again. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Daveris.
Hey everyone, Diver's here. Diver's happens to be an NPC in a campaign I run. Legends Die Live at Twitter, Twitch, all those different places. So yeah, just keep it nice, short, and sweet for me today.
And last but not least, of course, our wonderful party mum, Bash.
Hello, it's me, Ran. I play Bash. Isn't that fun? Thank you very much, everybody who came out and watched. Thank you to not only the DM, but my fellow players here for indulging in like an hour of like role playing where we just cried about life. And I was like, yeah, give this to me more. Thank you also to Diveris and Mike specifically for being the therapist. I appreciate it. You suffered through it, but we pulled it out. Yeah. I am Shelve the Books on Twitter. I don't really have like an online presence. I am working on a D&D module and a system of my very own that has nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons, so you will be immediately bored about it. But if you want to check out some good variety streaming, I have two good friends, randomly generated on Twitch, and Rose Artemis. Both play D&D and have a nerdy bent to a lot of their games, and they also have different time zones, so you can catch them British time, Central time, whenever you feel like it. And thank you very much for watching. I love doing this. Thank you.
It's fun, isn't it? And hello, everybody. I am Leonie, also known as Glasses and Gadgets, barely alive today. I am on the grind. I think I'm back Friday. Things are going to be pretty quiet on the Greyhawk channel this week, so I can't do my normal rundown on what's on because I don't really know. A lot of people are at Castle Greyhawk at Gen Con, so if you're in Gen Con, join the Discord, find out where Castle Greyhawk is going, and meet everybody. I'm not there. We're not here. But Bunzes and so many other wonderful people. And if you are there, I hope you have a lovely time. Buy me some dice, maybe. I'm not going to say no to free dice. And yeah, and when I'm not here, I'm of course on my own channel, God Hot Gaming. And we're going to keep it short and sweet. I got to get back to work. I gotta maybe wake up, make dinner. I don't know. I'm going to do something. So good night. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.